Ali is the founder of Goat Society NFT and author of Create Your Frequency.
Thanks for having me, my man. Everyone looks up to you in the space, so I'm glad we got to connect and just build something great. I know we're working on a few other projects overlapping our network and resources, but I don't know if we can announce it just yet, but coming soon for those watching. But thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So you're going to be speaking on the at the conference. Are you? Do you know what you're talking about quite yet?
Yeah, so to give you a quick background, in Web2, I had a creative marketing agency. I'm a
Mhm.
graphic designer by trade. So I
Okay.
like to draw, I like to create art. I'm not the best, I'm just good at curating. So there's a difference between creating and curating. I'm just good at curating. I have a team that's faster than me, something that takes me 2 hours, it'll take them 20 minutes. So I'm just good at facilitating, delegating, and streamlining operations and processes to create art, marketing content, videos, UX, UI, websites, apps, whatever, or NFT projects end to end at a fast pace. So that's kind of what I do. I just kind of, play puppet master and facilitator while I have talent that work with me and we go towards a common goal. So the reason I give you that outline, I'm good at marketing and community building. I feel like growing up, I was looking for a tribe always. I was always like finding my people, and I had an identity crisis of like, why can't I find people like similar to me? So I took it upon myself when I left corporate America to build that community. So what I'll be talking about at Web3 Summit, it's like community building, and of course, it revolves around women in Web3. So just how to break those gender roles and just
Mhm.
create a community that everyone has the same core values, and we can build something great together.
Yeah, I love that, man. I mean, obviously, there's a couple things to unpack in that. First, let's start with the importance of community and why community absolutely, like, literally drives everything that we do in this entire ecosystem. Without a community, like, you're nothing. I mean, look at what happened with Kevin Hart, right? He had his 10K collection that it failed. It didn't mint out. Why? Well, he didn't harness his Web3 community. He thought that he could rely on just his everyday status to get through that, and we see it didn't work. And so, like, community is absolutely huge. Who we are as content creators, project founders, all of that, even the individual. I mean, that even answers the question when people say, like, oh, like, how do I get involved in Web3? It's just like, well, get in a community, maybe even start some fan art or whatever, and then that will evolve into hopefully something that will change your life. But talk to me a little bit about what you think the importance of community within the Web3 community is.
Yeah, so great question. I feel like community sometimes, just like NFTs, just like Web3, gets a bad connotation just because, like, oh, join our community. What's the community about? Or, well, all the rest of the people are scamming, so now you're a community of scammers, right? Like, how do you stay away from the negative connotation even in Web2 sense, right? Creating a community is building not only a fan base, a loyal following, a customer base, but building people that you can resonate with. So as a I guess a coach, an author, I'm teaching people certain things, and my audience differs. I'm not actually talking to a Web3 audience. I'm talking to the young entrepreneur that's leaving college, getting into corporate America, and wants to leave their 9 to 5 corporate hustle to start
Mhm.
entrepreneurship and go work 100 hours for themselves, right? But if you find those people that, 20, whether it's 20 people, whether it's 2,000 people, all working towards a common goal, they stand by certain principles, then you guys can achieve that goal much faster than if you were pulling the weight by yourself, right? They say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go
Yeah.
far, go together. So when you build the community, you have people that are like-minded that you can turn to, whether it's like, hey, I got an idea, help me execute. Hey, I need 20 people to pull together 10 grand to invest in XYZ. Or hey, I want a whiteboard session of what all the bottlenecks and issues I have in my business. How do we fix those? And you have
Mhm.
20 to 2,000, however big your community is, other perspectives for you to expand your mind and really break through whatever problems you're having. So community in Web3, it's more like you find like-minded people, you have people that you can relate with, you find people that are all working towards a common goal, whether it's an NFT project that everyone believes in, and then you talk virtually, and then you go meet them in person, and it's like,
Mhm.
holy shit, I'm developing bonds and friendships and people that I can call my brothers or sisters or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what community means. It means finding your tribe, finding those like-minded people that you can build something together, exchange perspectives and learn and teach. back and forth.
I love that, man. I think that that's so important. And one thing that you said in there, I kind of chuckled inside, and it makes sense, right? And I know a lot of people talk about it. It's just like, you ditch your 9 to 5, and then now you're doing 100 hours, trying to build what you're building in Web3. But like, I'll tell you what, like, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that will agree with this, and obviously some that would disagree with it. But the 100 hours spent building for yourself is way easier than giving 40 hours to someone else. You know what I mean?
Well said. I call it the flow state. I'm actually dropping a video this week about the flow state, right? So when you're in flow state, there's no value of time. There's no understanding that you're working. It's more like you're doing things that you're passionate is like a spark. So when you're building for somebody else, you clock those hours. You're like, all right, I'm at 40. I'm tired. I want to go escape reality. I'm going to go chill. I'm going to go drink. I'm going to go do XYZ. But when you're building for yourself, that clock moves. And you're like, holy shit, I've been behind the screen for 14 hours. I didn't even notice. I haven't even eaten today. But guess what? I'm energetic about it. And I can go to sleep feeling fulfilled, wake up the next day, continue without ever looking at the clock. So that's called the flow state. And when you're building things for yourself, it's very, very highly likely that you'll get into flow state a lot easier than if you're building for somebody else. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking a 9 to 5. I had a 9 to 5 up until a point where I didn't need it anymore. My second income, superseded that 9 to 5. But because a lot of people are like, oh, quit your 9 to 5, follow your passion. Well, it doesn't work that way. Everyone has bills. You have to you gotta make ends meet. So it's about balancing that. You go 9 to 5, but then guess what? You have 6 to 1 to go work on your own goals, right? You have the weekends instead of going out and partying. Go build something where during the week you can eventually wane off of it. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's great. And, the kind of the way, and the Super Bowl last year kind of telegraphed that. And I think it was GoDaddy. Their commercial was, there's that song working 9 to 5, right? But what they did was, the whole thing was, you work your side hustle. So they changed the lyrics of the song is I'm working 5 to 9. So it's just like, what are you doing in your other side time to make sure that you're, fulfilling, whether it's self gratification, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's just financial, whatever, you are spending that time doing something that benefits you, and I love that. And to me, that's like the whole embodiment and spirit of Web3 is like self-governance, with as far as being able to control your own financial and your assets and all that stuff through digital ownership. It's all just what you do in your side time to make sure that is you're keeping yourself relevant in the space, you are educating people, and definitely contributing, because I think that ultimately, like when we get down the road to, like, say, the metaverse, I think your contribution is what's going to be the credit that you have.
Well, on point. The way I say it's like coming from Web2, right? You have all these like internet marketers and gurus that sell all these courses, right? And then when you ask them, let me see the numbers from your business, I was like, oh, I've never actually built this business. I've just watched coursework and I'm going to teach you how to do it. Where I'm like, I can't really believe in that because you haven't done it yourself. Whether it's real estate wholesaling, social media marketing, Amazon e-commerce, like people are selling courses, but they've never done it themselves, right? Like kind of like that marketing professor that's never built a marketing business. But Web3, what happens is it's an even playing field. Everyone has fair game. And there are people that go and sell shit product and shit services, and then they go rogue and do all the stuff that, with a negative connotation. But during this bear market, we'll see the strong survive. So the people that actually, learned something, provided value, gave to their community, built community and loyal fan bases, and changed lives and impact, of course, using money, whether fiat or crypto, changed lives. And then through the bear market, when the bull comes, those people will have the strong communities that people that believe in, people that believe in them. And they stay, longevity, as opposed to quick flip, make your money, dip, and same thing they did in Web2. So Web3 is that even playing field for all of us to make impact, make income, and really make, create your frequency, make a legacy,
Oh, I like that, man. I like that. And, and that's a great segue, creating legacy, switching from, this legacy system that we've got now, over to, the movement, women in Web3, the Web3 summit that we're ultimately all going to be down in Miami celebrating, the being more inclusive of everybody in the ecosystem. I have like a controversial, in my mind, it's a controversial way of thinking about it. And I don't want to like piss anybody off when I say this, and so I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. But to me, like I listen, I'm a father. I've got a 1-year-old daughter. I'm a husband. I love my wife. All that is great and wonderful, and I'm a true advocate and champion for women in the space. But why is it that it's one of those things where we just have to keep putting it out in the public, right? Like, can we just can the founders hire more women in the C-suites? Can we just give the women more money? Like, what's the purpose of announcing it other than to say like, hey, listen, like we are actually making a valid effort here to help people feel that we are all inclusive, because that's the whole embodiment and spirit of what Web3, the metaverse, is that doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, as long as you contribute, as long as you're part of the ecosystem, you're valued member of it.
I kind of agree with you. I don't think it's necessary for us to go out of our way to state that that's what we're doing. But it is an even playing field. So everyone has fair game to come in, step up and learn. You see a lot of women in Web3 that are crushing it. You go to all these speaking events and they're like, damn, this person's way more technical than I am. They have a software engineering or developing background. I can't speak that language, So the whole point is, who's going to seize that opportunity? It just happens to happen in the last 60, 70 years. A lot of industries are male dominated, without even meaning to, because of the, people, whether when people went off to war, the people are, the women are the homemakers. Just naturally, that was how it was. But now it's like flipping the switch while everyone can go get these certifications, go be a part of a Discord community, learn, tools and softwares. Think about it, we're in October. Last summer, Discord wasn't hot. Discord was only for freaking gamers. You know what I'm saying? Like, then now there's roles where women are crushing 6-figure jobs being Discord moderators and building out cybersecurity for Discord groups and XYZ, right? Same thing. And this is not just with women. This is everybody. You see all the nerds and the gamers and the streamers go and make millions of dollars because they went and bought 3 Bored Apes when they were, $70 or whatever the case may be, right? So again, I love to say it, even playing field, but it's moving so fast. You have, a week in Web3 is like 2 months in normal time, right? So what is like happening in 1 week? There's so many different shifts and, mergers and acquisitions and new companies being part of, and then, so many new companies getting funded and all this stuff. And you see women are really stepping into that role and crushing it. So it's not about like announcing that, hey, it's even playing field for women. It's more like it's there. It's up for the taking, and now women have that equal opportunity with Web 2, Web 3, with the modern day thinking and stuff like that, where they're actually seizing the role because there hasn't been a precedent set. It hasn't been male dominated. It's just even playing field. Everyone's like, it's open. Everyone can learn. Everyone can execute. Everyone can fuck up and make mistakes, and everyone can go and crush it and really make impact.
I think that's just such a great way to look at it. And it is, it's there for the taking. I mean, you want to start a project, man, spin a project up. You want to be a content creator, start your channel. And it is cool. Very exciting. So I think, being down in Miami and getting to celebrate everybody and be with everybody, like you said, in real life, finally put the, now you and I, again, we've gotten to meet each other in real life before, but it is one of the coolest parts, when you do spend a lot of time on Twitter Space, or whatever, where you can see someone's PFP for hours and hours and hours, and you hear their voice, but you've never actually seen their face or shaking their hand. That's getting the chance to get together in real life and build, like I think we talked about earlier, further that development, the relationship, and the synergy, where then you can create partnerships. And I liked what you said, about the bear market, and we can talk about that, here. If you've been in crypto for a while, if you've experienced a bear market before, it's not the end of the world, right? Markets are cyclical. They go down, they go up. That's how the machine works. Like, it has to just keep rolling. And so this is opportunity time. And you said that, we can shake out the bad actors, or at least some of them, right? Some of the serial ones, and
Well,
really build.
I think it will drop itself. I think they will like wean out themselves because they don't have that value. They're not here for the right purpose and the right goal. So they'll
Okay.
end up like either getting demotivated, getting screwed, and then people, they're doxing or whatever, and they'll say, oh shit, this is someone with not strong principles, and they're not here for long term, and they don't have a community, and it's
Mhm.
just they just rugged. So they'll kind of drop off themselves, but that's what the bear market. Only the strong will survive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's necessary, right? Like, the bear markets are necessary to kind of shake out, the ones that maybe were just there for the cash grab. Because, like you said, there is no longevity. So, what are some of the other benefits you think of a bear market, especially like, say, the NFT industry, because this is honestly the first any kind of downturn that the NFT industry has had.
I think it goes a little deeper because think about it. Think about like Forex, think about stocks. There's always, like you said, cyclical, right? And I'm not a trader, right? Of course, I buy and hold, but I don't day trade or actively trade and read signals and candlesticks. And I don't do all that. But it's like there's people that do that. And whether bear, whether bull, they make money because they're good at what they do,
Mhm.
right? And the benefits is that people are holding. So now it's time to create. Now you have time to breathe and build, gather your team. And that's the cool thing about Web3. It's like you can have conversations, and within like a day, 2 days, you can connect the dots between two people and literally create something out of thin air, whether it's a DEX or an NFT project, or a community, a page. Even like, think about it, right? I come from social media marketing. So during NFT boom, right, in last October, November, December, there's pages on Instagram that are selling advertising posts for 30, 40, 50, 60K,
Mhm.
right? They have
Crazy.
nothing to do with Web3. They have no Web3 project. They have no Web3 community. They just capitalize on the Web3 industry. So like there's many opportunities, and that's all it is. It's an opportunity for us to build, to create, to really, put our foundation down. And you can make mistakes, and it's literally so early that no one's going to remember.
That definitely makes sense. And, people do have short attention spans. And, like you were saying, as long as you are either very genuine, with an apology, or you find ways to correct, right your wrongs and then move forward, right the ship. I think that's the most transparency is what people care about the most, right? Even if, if you're like a project is struggling to meet a timeline or a deadline, or, what's going on in the white paper, the roadmap, as long as you're transparent and communicative to your community, people are forgiving with that.
And what's cool, like I experienced it with the Goat Society. Like, there has been obviously some delays and stuff like that because we delivered like 90% of our roadmap. So it's like pretty cool to see that when we, couldn't come through, or we were like delay, the community, the strong community came through for us. They're like, hey guys, look, shit takes time. Give them some time. They supported us when they like ever like FUD came up or whatever. It's like
Hmm.
the community came in and answered the questions, and they were our eyes and ears, and they were the ones supporting and voicing our opinions by themselves without like they weren't paid mods or anything. It's just like they came in, but hey guys, look, here's what we got. Here's where we're going. A minor hiccup for a week. Cool. It's
Hmm.
all good. We love you either way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what are some of the say the three most important things to building a community with longevity, right? Like, people that, getting people into your community that do care, like that. That are willing to step up and say, "Hey guys, listen, like, we're all in this for the greater good of, what we're trying to accomplish here. So let's, rally like as a community, and just keep pushing things forward." Like, how do you, like, what would say your top three things of getting those kind of people in your community?
100%, great question. So I feel like we obviously Goat Society was our biggest project. We were a part of consulting for a few other projects. So across the board, what we learned was biggest thing is clear vision, not just within your team, but with the community. Hey, here's where we're going. Our mission with Goat Society, right, was the acronym greatest of all time. So I want to help you become the greatest version of yourself. So I
Mhm.
want to help Jay Chains become the greatest Jay Chains. He's the best speaker, host, author, motivator, father, brother, husband, whatever, right? And in our case was like, I want you to be the best entrepreneur. I want you to be spiritually aligned. I want you to be, physically fit, mentally healthy. So we're helping. It was so clear that when people came in, they adopted those principles because we embodied them and we lived this healthy lifestyle. We're trying to be healthy, wealthy, swole, happy, all that, right? And we were
Love it.
so clear that people embraced it. And then once they see us embodying that, they were, it was easy. It was very clear for them to like, this is where we're going. The next thing was promise, under promise, over deliver. So whatever we say we're going to do it. We had so many communities that we were a part of that we're like excited X, Y, Z, but they were promising 3 years later, we're going to have, this much, whatever. So our thing was, let's just promise on something small, deliver it, move up to something, the next piece of the puzzle. So it's like, hey, we were going to have free podcast for all members to come and learn how to be the best version of themselves. Cool. Very easy execution. We executed it. Next, hey, we're going to have a token that's going to come out. Cool. Token with its use cases. We're going to have a play to earn ecosystem. We're going to have our own metaverse. And now in the next 60 days, we're dropping a video game that took a year to develop, but a play to earn battle royale. So we're like following, we're just fulfilling the promises. Very simple. Right. And I think the third thing is having the right team. Having the right team that everyone embodies the core values. So if you have that, then the people will see the authenticity, just like you said, transparency, easy communication. If there's a hiccup, just be honest, and they can put a face to the name. So I want people to relate to me. I don't want to be behind a Web3 personality that no one knows. I come from social media. On Instagram is my primary channel. So however I am on Instagram is exactly how I am in person. So many times I've met people and like, you're like consistent. I can hear you, I can see you, and you align. But there's so many people, and I'm sure you've met them. They're one way on Instagram or on social, and then in person they're completely different. They're not authentic. So it's like authenticity being, someone that embodies the core values, because that's what resonates with people. That's what builds a community, because it's like, I want to be like that guy. Okay, I don't want all his qualities, right? Because I want to make my own version of the best version of myself, but I want to be healthier. So that's why I surround myself with people that are like very healthy, very happy, very, spiritually aligned, where they're like content and peaceful. So I think those three are very important. Just to summarize, being very authentic, fulfilling on your utilities, and just having the right team where people can relate to them.
I mean, that's literally like a recipe for success there, pretty much in anything that you do, but especially here in the Web3 ecosystem. Ollie, I appreciate you taking time and chatting with me today, man. I consider you now. I just met you for the first time in Vegas several months ago. At this point, but I would consider you to be like one of the smarter people that I've met recently, and I like your approach and the philosophies that you take. And not only that, man, when you showed me your content style, like I really dug it. I'm hoping there's a way for us to work together in the future. But if anybody wants to learn more about what you got going on, about the Goated Society, what anything you got, where people can find you, so that they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the kind words. And my man, it's like the same thing. I'm just learning Web3. My whole thing is combining spirituality with entrepreneurship. So instead of me hustling and going like grinding 15, 16, 17 hours, I'm just aligning my mind and body. So the right opportunities, the right people like yourself, and the right speaking gigs and the right, partnerships, they come to me. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So on Instagram is my primary platform, ali.principles. And my company is called Principles Creative Studios, hence the word principles. On Twitter, I'm Blockchain Buddha, again, embodying the peaceful version of myself. And I'm on YouTube. There's Create Your Frequency podcast. We have another one called the Goat Talk podcast. So guys, connect with me. I'll be in Miami with you, so we'll connect. And what you should do is, I'm on your show, you should hop on mine. Let's just do exchange of value and keep the relationship going, my man.
I love it, man. I appreciate you again coming on, chit chatting with me. Definitely looking forward to seeing you down in Miami and everything that has Web3 in the future for all of us. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time.